Hey there, it's me again, and today I want to talk about a situation that's been on a lot of workshop friends' minds lately. You've finally cleared out that corner of the garage, you've got a decent workbench, and now you're staring at 3 different machines on the shelf: a plasma cutter, a TIG welder, and an old-school stick welder. The question is, do you really need all 3, or can one piece of gear do the heavy lifting for you? I've been digging through forums, watching a handful of YouTube build-outs, and even pulling apart a few spec sheets, just to see if a single unit can realistically replace a trio. If you want to check the product details on Amazon, the link is in the description. So let's unpack the O'Kanen 3-in-1. The big promise is simple: a 200A DC plasma cutter, a 50A TIG welder, and a 200A MMA stick welder, all packed into a single chassis. At first glance that sounds like a dream for anyone who's juggling a small shop budget, but the practical side of things matters more than the headline numbers. Who should consider this machine? If you're a hobbyist or a startup shop that does occasional metal fabrication, think repairing car frames, doing light steel art, or building custom brackets, the flexibility of switching between plasma cuts and welds without swapping power supplies is a real time saver. I've seen a couple of users on a maker forum who were able to finish a bike frame repair in one afternoon because they could plasma cut the damaged tube, then jump straight to TIG welding the replacement without unplugging anything. For them, the convenience outweighed the fact that the unit isn't a specialist tool. On the other side of the coin, if you're a professional fabricator who needs to run a production line, the trade-off becomes more noticeable. A dedicated plasma cutter will typically have a higher duty cycle, better arc stability, and more refined nozzle options for thicker steel. Similarly, a high-end TIG unit will give you finer control over pulse settings and shielding gas flow. The O'Kanen unit does a respectable job for the price, but it won't match the consistency of a purpose-built machine when you're welding 24 hours a day. Let's talk about the real-world strengths. First, the integration. The power supply is shared, so you only need one outlet and one set of safety interlocks. That simplifies the wiring in a cramped garage and cuts down on the number of heavy cables you have to manage. The plasma cutter side, rated at 200A, can slice through 10mm mild steel in a few seconds, which is more than enough for most DIY projects. I've seen a video where the creator cut an inch pipe in under 10 seconds, a solid benchmark for anyone who's ever struggled with a slower cutter that keeps stalling. The TIG welding side, at 50A, is surprisingly user-friendly. The description mentions that the TIG welds are clean and strong, and from what I could gather, the machine uses a digital inverter that provides a steady arc even at lower amperages. That makes it forgiving for newcomers who are still learning to control the foot pedal and shielding gas flow. In a small shop, the ability to just plug in and weld without having to fine-tune a bunch of knobs is a genuine advantage. The stick welding capability is another practical highlight. A 200A MMA output means you can tackle heavier gauge rods for structural repairs, something that many hobbyists overlook until they need it. In a recent Reddit thread about garage welding, a user noted that they were finally able to fix a cracked steel beam in their basement workshop because they finally had a stick welder that could sustain the necessary heat. The O'Kanen unit provides that capability without forcing you to buy a separate, bulky stick machine. Now for the downsides that matter after you bring the unit home. The first is heat management. Because the 3 functions share the same cooling system, you'll notice that after an extended plasma cut, the unit needs a few minutes to cool before you can switch to stick welding at full power. In a real shop environment, that could slow down workflow. For occasional use, it's a minor inconvenience, but it's worth keeping in mind if you plan on back-to-back operations. Second, the control knobs are fairly generic. There's a single dial for current selection and a small LCD that toggles between modes. This means you don't get the granular control you might expect on a dedicated TIG machine. For example, precise pulse frequency or advanced shielding gas mixing isn't available. If you're looking to produce high-grade aerospace-type welds, you'll quickly feel the limits. However, for standard automotive or home project welding, most users find the simple interface more than adequate. Another practical consideration is the weight and footprint. While it's marketed as a single unit, it still weighs around 30 kilograms and sits on a steel base that occupies roughly the same space as 3 smaller machines would. If your shop floor is already cramped, you'll need to plan where to place it. Some owners have reported having to reinforce the bench because the